This is part one of a three-part series I'm calling Grove City College Lateral and Multi-Directional Speed Training. I've been using each of these three sessions for the past year. They've helped me develop into a well-rounded on-ball defender. I've seen more progress using these sessions than I have in a lot of my other training methods. I highly encourage each of our D-middies, LSMs, and close defensemen to implement this into their training at least 3 to 4 times a week. But I've seen the most progress when doing this about 5 to 6 times a week. Each of these sessions should not take more than 20-25 minutes, given the low amount of reps. It's very sustainable. Each of these sessions has been derived from an NFL DB. His name is Marcus Rios. I found his videos online through Instagram. I'll have the link to each of his sessions in the bio of each of these videos so that you can correlate these videos with that and see if there's any way that you want to implement his stuff as well. For our first drill, we have stick bounds. We do 2 sets of these by 6 each side if you're using a cone. If you're using a ladder like I do here, you can just go the length of the ladder. In this example, I'm trying to get as high as possible with each jump. You can switch up your training if you'd like to go as far as possible, as quick as possible. But in this example, I'm trying to work on my explosiveness, landing on the balls of my feet, getting as much height as possible before sticking that landing. All right, for our next drill, we have ladder shuffle switches into a 5 to 7 yard lateral sprint. We'll be doing this 2 times on each side of the ladder. Looking at that again, as you can see, I'm trying to get 2 feet in each ladder, something I can do better at. Once we get halfway through the ladder, we're going to flip our hips and move into our sprint. For our third drill, we have that same ladder shuffle, but this time we'll be moving into a back pedal and then into a 5 to 7 yard lateral sprint once again. So I can do a better job again of getting both feet in the ladder and not missing any. Once we're done with that ladder, we move into a quick back pedal, just a couple of steps, and do another 5 to 7 yard sprint. For our next drill, we'll be doing 3 quick lateral taps into a shuffle, then a deceleration, and then another lateral sprint. As you can see, we're doing a lot of lateral sprinting. Very important as a defender, but this drill will be simulating our man squaring us up before they break us either down the alley or over the top. So looking at that again, you can see I just get 3 quick taps with my left foot into the ladder. I'm shuffling, keeping my feet hot, and then moving into that lateral sprint. So for our next drill, we're getting into our hip work. We'll be doing 3 hip crossovers, either using a ladder like I am or cones. I actually prefer cones, but for this recording, I only had my ladder. We'll be doing those 3 crossovers into a 5 yard sprint and approach. It's very important as a defender to have fluid hips so that if our man does get us to tune our hips, we can very quickly recover back into being on his hip. So I just do those 3 flips into a sprint and approach. All right, for our second to last drill, we'll be doing a quick approach into a shuffle and then crossover run. We'll hit that a couple times before breaking into a sprint to get a ground ball. So you can see that here at full speed. Just slowing that down a little bit, you see we get a nice square approach before breaking into our crossover run, keeping our chest facing towards that ground ball. Then we're picking it up. For our final drill, we have 3 lateral bounds before a 10 yard lateral sprint. Doing this 2 times on each side. You can do these for height, for distance, or for quickness, trying to get off the ground as quick as possible. That's what I'm doing here. I should aim to do a better job with that second rep of having my toe strike on the ground rather my entire foot. But yeah, you can do that for quickness, for height, for distance. I chose to do quickness there. And that's our final drill and the end of session 1 of our lateral and multi-directional speed training series. Just a quick note, when I'm doing all these drills, whenever I switch sides, I like to switch to my left hand as well. This isn't required, it's not necessary, however, it's something that I like to do to develop both my strong and my offhand. On the rare occasion that I'm facing a player who is purely right-handed or purely left-handed, I can perhaps use my offhand to my advantage in that situation.